It's John Black, Super Chemist. We're going to review this video on YouTube by everyone knows, John Stossel. If you want to watch it in full, a better version of it, go watch it on there.
Socialism.
Socialism is the way forward. Socialism is popular. In recent years, more than a third of American adults said they view socialism positively. Why? Maybe because social media is filled with economically illiterate people saying things like,
socialism is working better than capitalism 93% of the time.
93% of the time? Where does she get that? Well, I asked Stossel TV producer Christine Tokarev to investigate.
She got it from this study, published in the Journal of Health Services 40 years ago. But its Marxist authors conveniently exclude high-income countries, like the US, Japan, Canada, in fact, all the biggest capitalist countries. They compare socialist countries to allegedly capitalist countries like these.
Like Somalia, the Congo, Uganda, Burma, India. Is this a serious joke?
Some of which were at war. Based on that, she says,
we have all the data showing that socialism does work.
Madeline Pendleton is a TikTok star with more than 1 million subscribers.
What do I like about communism?
She celebrates communism, too.
Mostly the increased life expectancy.
But there's no increased life expectancy. People live longest in capitalist places, like Japan and South Korea. Even in the United States, where more people die young because we drive more. And so we have more car accidents. We eat more and get fat.
Is that mac and cheese on your hamburger? It is mac and cheese.
We shoot each other more often, and we take more dangerous drugs. Yet we still live longer than people in China. But socialism is also better, says Pendleton, because of
the 90 to 100% home ownership rates.
100%? That's just silly. China, if you believe their statistics, does have almost 90% home ownership. But that only happened after China terminated socialist housing. Under socialism, just 20% of people owned homes. In socialist Venezuela, homeowners don't even own their homes.
Dozens of people squatting in this abandoned office tower in central Caracas.
Yet Pendleton claims
the commies want to steal your house from your landlord and give it straight to you.
Pendleton...
You do see what's going on here. Communism is basically saying the politicians, the government, should be in charge of distributing everything, and we should trust the politicians and the government on doing that fairly. This is the biggest doublespeak I've ever heard in my life. We should trust the politicians to divvy up everything so it's nice and even. The people that live in the mansions that fly around in the private jets, we should entrust them, because as we all know, politicians are the most moral, upstanding people on the planet. Basically, that's what these people are saying. Politicians are so great that we should just give them, total control over everything on how they distribute all the wealth and all the everything. It's like insane.
Plenty of company praising socialism on social media. This YouTuber with almost 2 million subscribers tells people why you should be a socialist.
The guaranteed right to health care, food, and shelter.
It's true. Socialism promises free healthcare, food.
Yeah, Obama socialism. You know what socialism? You know what it did to me? It killed me. That's why I'm in the situation I'm in right now. I'm on SSI because of my heart, because I couldn't afford my heart medication because Obamacare came along. Before that, it only cost me $500 a year to go to the doctor and get my pills. After Obamacare, they wanted either me to pay $1,000 for insurance, or they wanted me to pay $600 in a fine. Now, if I could barely afford the $500 in the first place, how am I going to afford $600? And then on top of it, I still got to pay the $500. If I take the fine, and that's going to cost me $1,100 that I don't have. Or I could spend it. It was actually like $1,200 or something to get the insurance or something. Yeah, but if I barely had the $500 in the get-go, how am I going to have that? So I didn't have it. So I get nothing. I get no pills, and then what? 10 years later, I need a heart transplant, and I'm going to die because they won't give me a heart because I'm too bad. They don't want to waste a heart on me. Thanks, Obama, you piece of socialist, communist garbage. Yeah, that's how all the poor people, that's what happened to all the poor people that actually, and you know what's funny is it took me like until I was in like 40 or something before I could actually afford that $500 a year to go see the doctor. Finally, after 2-3 years, not even 3 years, probably 2 years of finally getting on, or, you know, whatever, finally getting a doctor and getting pills, and here comes Obama and his socialist, communist, fascism piece of garbage. Yeah, all the poor people know what I'm talking about. Yeah, I know you middle class pieces of garbage don't, because all you think about is gaslighting and whatever they call that, where you're trying to say you're good, but you're really not.
Food and shelter. But that doesn't mean what people get is any good. Look at Cuba.
El sistema nacional de salud cubano está destruido.
Los hospitales abarrotados, la gente muriéndose en los pasillos.
This socialist TikToker with Karl Marx-like hair has 100,000 subscribers.
Capitalism is a political economy which prioritizes profits over people.
That isn't true. Capitalism, the way we have it in America, because this isn't really capitalism. Capitalism does not have fiat money. It does not have a Federal Reserve Bank. It does not have a World Bank. It does not have low tariffs on imports. And it does not have a monarchy set up, a deep state monarchy like we have in the United States, okay? That's how you know that we are not living in a capitalist democracy. No, this is just a fake capitalist democracy.
Antidote to that political economy would be socialism, a political economy that prioritizes people over profits.
Socialist theory does. But again and again, what people get is misery.
Yeah, what works on pay? Yeah, only socialism and communism, they only work if the entire group, okay, or the entire country, or the entire whatever your government is, all the people underneath that government, they all have to be good, decent people. And see, if you have more than 10 people, okay, most likely you're going to have at least one guy in there that isn't a great morally person. He's going to get into the government, and there goes and that's why it always turns into crap. Because on paper, communism and socialism sounds great, and it is, if everyone is perfect. Unfortunately, humans are definitely not perfect. So that's why it never works. It never turns out that way. You always have people at the top and everyone else starving at the bottom. And because government has all the power in a communist society, you can't stop it. It gets more and more crazy and more tyrannical.
You would be subjected to backbreaking labor, brutality, starvation,
countless millions of deaths, and the worst man-made famine in human history.
Yet a man calling himself spooky, scary socialist gets almost 2 million views saying,
Communism did work. It provided essential services like full employment, rough income inequality.
how can these people be so deluded? I'm eager to hear what they'll say when John interviews them. They tell millions of people,
the central idea that unites all socialists is maximizing freedom, a more dignified life, and the democratization of power.
democratization? Like in China? Here, there's just one party, and its leader made himself president for life. Every socialist economy has failed. Venezuela was once the richest country in South America. Now, there are food shortages.
More and more people reduce to eating from the rubbish.
Socialism just doesn't work.
Seemed to work in Vietnam really great, actually.
So says this TikTok socialist. But what finally worked in Vietnam was free markets. Before Vietnam embraced capitalism, people went hungry. The country depended on handouts. Then Vietnam legalized capitalism and freed the private sector. The TikTokers make the same.
See, that's the whole thing. You need to free the private sector. That's why I say the United States is not a capitalist society, because we do not free the, we have so much regulations on everything, government regulations, that they want money to for everything. If you got a lemonade stand outside your house with your 5-year-old, they want to come by and make you pay them something so that they can watch you, to overlook you, to make sure you're making the lemonade correctly, to regulate you. That's not capitalism. That's something else.
Same mistake about China.
Socialism worked in China.
China eradicated extreme poverty.
Wrong again. When China banned capitalism, millions died.
Those who didn't get on with the leader of the production team or those who disobeyed his orders were starved to death.
It was only after
campaigns like the Great Leap Forward and the Cultural Revolution had killed tens of millions of people
that China's leaders reversed course,
embracing capitalism and encouraging private business.
Only then did average incomes in China rise. But socialism's promoters still say, you don't need capitalism or profit.
Innovation can flourish even when people are not motivated by profit. The USSR gave the world the anthrax vaccine, artificial satellites, and one of the earliest mobile phones.
That's true, but do any of you have a socialist-made phone today? The West has just created so much more. The socialists say,
ownership should be collective.
But every attempt, anywhere, at collective ownership has...
Yeah, really, come on, man. That's like a guy saying, what do you call that, timeshare? Yeah, we're going to have... In Florida, you can have this timeshare with this apartment. You don't really own it, and you can come see it, 2 weeks out of the year, and we got to have, you got to give us notice and everything. No. Ownership for collective ownership is no. If you have a car that you rent that everyone owns, everyone treats it like garbage.
Has failed. In America, people tried that 200 years ago. In New Harmony, Indiana, private property was abolished. The result, as with similar attempts, was famine. No matter how many views these propagandists get, the fact is, socialism fails.
So what do these popular socialists say in response to these inconvenient facts? Sadly, I can't show you.
Yeah, that's how you know that they don't actually believe in their beliefs. Like Greta Thunberg and all these, these communist whatevers. You ever notice they never do interviews where they can actually be, have a debate about what they're saying? Never. That's what a person does when they know that they are 100% wrong. You know what I mean? That's what that proves. They prove their point that they are liars and they don't believe in what they're saying by never debating it. You know what I mean? So these aren't people. Don't think that these are just dupes, that they don't know that they're lying. They know they're lying. They're getting paid. These people have 1 million followers or whatever. You think they ain't making bucks? And let me tell you something. That's called capitalism. See the ironic? It's like these green people. They fly around in private jets. They have 5 mansions that they heat and cool all year round, have maids to clean them up because they're never there. And they want you to believe that, you got to stop. CO2 is just going to kill you, even though it's part of, that's like saying oxygen's going to kill you.
We invited them to come here and make their points to you. Not one would.
Socialism stays winning.
The bottom line is that incentives matter. Nobody washes a rental car because most people don't care a lot about what belongs to everyone. It's just human nature. Capitalism isn't perfect, but if we really want a better future and freedom, capitalism, not socialism, is the way to get those things.
The thing is, I want everyone to realize that we do not have a capitalist society in the United States. We do not have a democracy. We have a pretend capitalist society and a pretend democracy. If it wasn't propaganda, like I said, these people would debate you, but they never debate you. They just have their little channel that they could spew out their propaganda. But you say it's not propaganda. It's not a plan. Really? Seems like it.